is King Charles's exclusion of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from his Christmas address really another sign that the British monarchy, they're moving away from the annoyance that is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Hello everyone, welcome to Royal News Network. My name is Brittany, and today we are talking about really the dignified silence of the monarchy. How their ability to just stand there and not say anything in the face of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's allegations has really taken the steam and the wind out of Harry and Meghan in so many ways. It makes them really look like the crazy relatives screaming in the street. And we've seen as well, not only has Charles excluded them from his Christmas address, which makes complete and utter sense, but we've also seen over the last 2 weeks the British monarchy come together. They came together for Catherine's Christmas Carol event. They were together at Sandringham, where we saw the children interacting, and they were including Wolfie, and they were chatting with each other, and we saw Louis run down and give a little bouquet of flowers to his sister Charlotte. These are gorgeous and incredible images that really show that the monarchy is a family, they're a family unit, and that they have decided that instead of being dragged into the mudslinging like Harry and Meghan want them to, and I think particularly Meghan in this situation, they decided instead to just ignore the two of them. They're just going to ignore them, let them be the crazy people screaming in the streets, because as time goes on, I feel like more and more people are waking up to the annoying narcissism that is Harry and Meghan. And I feel like their support among the public is slowly, even in the United States, dwindling in so many ways. And I think it's just beautiful to see the British monarchy come together in a powerful way this holiday season and really show that they are the power here. They're the ones who are going to succeed, whereas Harry and Meghan are going to fall flat on their faces. But if you guys haven't been here before, hello, my name is Brittany, and on this channel I provide compelling royal commentary about the latest news and a little bit of gossip too. In addition, I will be reviewing television shows and movies and sharing history as well. I also have a fashion channel, Royal Fashion News, if you want to check that out, and I also have a trip coming up to London and the Cotswolds. So if you guys want to go on a tour of the UK with me for a couple of days in May, I would love to have you, and I'll put a link in the description box down below for you. And like I said, this is going to be a celebration in a way of the beauty that is the British royal family, especially when we think of their Christmas concert event and Sandringham. We've seen just a lot of family togetherness over this last couple of weeks. And I feel like this has been a hugely and profoundly moving image, especially for the UK. Given that the Queen has passed away and we've had the transition of power, people are wondering, can the British monarchy survive? Can they go through all this turmoil and mudslinging that Harry and Meghan are throwing at them? And can they rise above it and really come into their power in a lot of ways? And I feel like we've definitely seen that. And I think, again, the ability of them to just ignore Harry and Meghan has done them enormous favor in so many ways. And so first off, let's talk about the Christmas Carol event. So if you guys don't know, you can watch it on BritBox. So you can do a 7-day subscription. I did that, and I was able actually to record it as well. So I do have the concert myself, and I'm not going to post it because of copyright issues, but it is something where I can just pull a couple brief clips from it. So go ahead and take a listen to some of the great songs that we heard from the concert. All right, guys, and I love how they ended with "O Come All Ye Faithful." That was the song voted on by the British citizens, so go ahead and take a listen here. We also saw the beautiful moment of the Queen being shown throughout her life on the top of the piano. I just thought that was a beautiful projection, so go ahead and take a watch a bit here as well. And I think we loved seeing the kids. Seeing the royal kids are just so much fun, and I just especially love Charlotte's reaction to Paddington Bear. So just take a look at this brief little clip right here. All right, guys, I feel like, again, the British royal family in this beautiful moving ceremony, I think Westminster Abbey can get a more gorgeous location. And you got to think as well, this is the first big occasion that they've had at the cathedral since Her Majesty's funeral. So I feel like it was a really big step to have all the royals there. Basically, every senior member of the royal family was there. The exception was Prince Edward was not there. Lady Louise and Viscount Severin was not there. So these are Edward's children. Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, was there. We had the Tyndalls. We had Beatrice and her husband, Eugenie and her husband. We had Princess Alexandra, the Duke of Kent, Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, their 2 children. And so I feel like we had just so many people representing the power of the monarchy there that evening. And I feel like it was just, again, a reminder that at the end of the day, although the British royal family is an institution, and that was Meghan's claim a lot of the time. She's like, it's an institution. But she liked the Queen as a grandmotherly figure, but she wasn't comfortable with the institution. And while that does exist and the hierarchy does exist, they are at the heart of family, and so they do come and support each other. We also had the very, very subtle nod and reaction to Meghan's claim that she always wore beige colors to avoid clashing with the other members of the royals. Now, I understand that can always be a concern, but the ladies of the family, you know what? They do actually talk to each other. I mean, I know Meghan didn't talk to anybody, but the actual British ladies actually talked to each other, and I'm sure would have included her in the conversations if she had wished. And they would have told her, hey, I'm wearing this color, I'm wearing this color, and then Meghan can decide to wear a color that complements them. And we saw this very much in the christening of Prince Louis, where all the members of the main family, so this is the Middleton side and the royal side, all wore blue or cream. There seemed to be a theme of some sort. And Meghan shows up in olive green. Meghan shows up in olive green. And I feel like that olive green mess was perhaps carried over into the Sandringham visit. So if you don't know, every year the royals go up to Sandringham. That's in Norfolk. That's where Catherine and William's country home is. And they go there and they celebrate Christmas together, and they all stay at Sandringham House. And it's an extended member of the family occasion. So we did see the Earl of Snowdon and his sister Sarah Chateau. So this is Charles's cousins. They were there. They're Princess Margaret's children. And so they attended as well. And usually a lot of the extended members do as well, but those were the main extended members that we saw. And we also just had the main line of the family. And so it was just great fun to see all of them come up. And Catherine was interesting because she wore olive green, which I thought was a strange choice because her whole family was in navy and burgundy. And while they did match at the Christmas concert, that they didn't match there, I was like, really? This just seems strange to me. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if Catherine decided, well, I'm going to wear olive green to kind of hint, nudge, nudge that yes, you can also clash as well if you want to. That's perfectly fine, because Meghan Markle decided to wear olive green at her cream and blue christening. But Sandringham, what they do is they go and they have these big lunches and everything there. And then on Christmas morning, which happened to be Sunday this year, so there is a dawn service. So a couple of members of the family usually come up for the dawn service. What I thought was really cool is that we saw Charles, Sarah Chateau, and the Earl of Snowdon. So this is his cousin, so Margaret's children walking with Charles, which I thought was a beautiful moment of cousin togetherness, because I feel like you don't see them that much. But I believe Sarah was maybe one of Princess Diana's bridesmaids, and so there is a really close family connection there. So I just thought that was great to see them walking with Charles. We saw a couple other members of the family, Zara Phillips and her husband, Mike Tyndall. They also came to that dawn service. And then later there's the main service. So people line up in the park and the royals walk by in their family units. And so we saw the Charles come first and then followed by the Waleses, and they pretty much went in the line of succession afterwards. So we saw Princess Beatrice, and what was really cool is that her husband Edo was there and her stepson Wolfie, which I thought was lovely for them to include him. And there was also this cute little video, and I'll see if I can find it, and that some of the other kids asked him to come over to them, and so that they could show him something, or that people were giving out things and that he could have some of it. So I thought it was just really, really cool that they decided to include him there as well. I just thought that was amazing and incredible, because obviously if you're marrying into a family like that, that's a huge undertaking. And I'm sure he was probably nervous. This was his first Christmas with his stepmother's family, so I'm sure he was probably perhaps, not knowing quite what to expect. So I thought it was lovely that the kids included him. And the Wales's kids, we we had all three of them this time. Prince Louis, who still is a bit naughty. I feel like we will have many wonderful and fun stories about Louis in the coming years. I feel like he'll always be a bit of the clown, but he is the third child, so I think he'll just be a lot of fun. And there was this really sweet moment where he got a little bouquet of flowers and he ran down the line and gave them to his sister. So I should say they do go into and have their church service first. So they walk past everybody, have their service, and then when they come back out, that is when they greet the crowds, greet the people, and get their pictures taken. So it's just a really sweet tradition. A lot of people come out and you see a lot of people in wheelchairs, which is surprising in a way. And so again, this moment of family togetherness is fantastic. And they usually have a big formal lunch there at Sandringham. And then they usually all sit down at some point and watch Charles's Christmas address. And obviously Charles remembered the Queen and talked about the future of the monarchy, mentioned particularly the Prince and Princess of Wales, and showed some montage of other senior members of the royal family work. But what he did not include was any reference to his prodigal son, Harry, and his, should I say, his interesting daughter-in-law, Meghan Markle. I wanted to say some other word, but I feel like that wouldn't be nice. So he didn't include them at all, which of course made complete and utter sense. But I feel like it was definitely Harry and Meghan, I'm sure, took that as a slight. Because once again, they are being shuffled to the side in their minds. Now, again, they decided to leave. If they had stayed, they'd be some senior members. They would have gotten a mention. I'm sure there would have been a lot of things focusing on them as well. But Harry and Meghan decided, nah, the British monarchy, it ain't doing it for us. We really need Hollywood. We really need Hollywood royalty. So we're going to skip her off over here. So go ahead and take a listen to a little bit of Charles's speech here.
Christmas is a particularly poignant time for all of us who have lost loved ones. We feel their absence at every familiar turn of the season and remember them in each cherished tradition. My mother's belief in the power of that light was an essential part of her faith in God, but also her faith in people.
And here's a reference to Catherine and William.
The Prince and Princess of Wales recently visited Wales, shining a light on practical examples of this community spirit. All
right, guys, so I really feel like, again, Charles is looking to the future. He's looking to the future and beyond, and he's trying to secure this throne. Because like I've said in other videos, or I have a video coming in that will mention this, is that this is a very precarious time. Anytime there's a transition of power, there is an inevitable weakness that seeps in during that transition. That happens in businesses, that happens in governments, and it's this period of time where there's just a tenuous question about where loyalties will lie, where the power will reside, and can the new leader inhabit the role or have as much power as the older leader did? This is a huge question, and it happens, I feel like, a lot. So that is a challenging issue for Charles because he has been in waiting for 70 years, but in addition, he's not that popular. So he will always, I feel like, struggle with his popularity to a certain extent. He has gotten the monarch bump, so he did go up, but William and Catherine remain the most popular royals. And so he has this very challenging and delicate dance of trying to maintain popularity, trying to make sure his wife stays above the fray, because there's still a lot of dislike towards Camilla, and yet not letting his son and daughter-in-law overshine him. So there's this lot of this very careful dance. And in the center of all of it, you have the chaos, the toxicity, and the narcissism of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And they are just a bomb waiting to go off in various corners. And I feel like I don't know what Harry and Meghan's end goal is, because sometimes I feel like it's bringing down the monarchy. But I'm like, but you guys do realize that if you bring the monarchy down, your title goes too. You do know that, right? You do know that if the whole monarchy system goes, they may say, well, we'll only have prince and princess titles, and then all these dukedoms and everything, they just cease to exist. And when you look at Queen Elizabeth as well, I feel like Harry and Meghan, again, put all their eggs in her basket. Their children's titles, their future, everything with the Queen, with apparently the lack of understanding that at 96, 95, 94 years old, that at some point she's probably going to die within the next couple of years. And the guy you're attacking, your father, King Charles, will all of a sudden have all the power that used to reside with your grandmother. And he may not be as apt to protect you. And your brother may be even less willing to protect you. But again, I feel like Harry and Meghan just don't think that far ahead. She's portrayed sometimes as kind of a Machiavellian, manipulative figure. But I feel like the problem Meghan Markle is having is that she doesn't think things all the way through. She is very, I want this at this moment, and just doesn't think 12 steps ahead. She's just thinks 1 step and 1/2 step behind, because it's all a narcissistic self-obsession. And we're seeing this more and more with the media picking up. There was actually a really interesting article in Politico, which I'll try to remember to link down below, talking about how are we finally done with narcissists, in terms of we've celebrated them for a couple years now, and are we finally done with these people? And one of the examples they use is Harry and Meghan, because after a while it becomes clear that this whole Netflix thing is one giant vanity project. Like everything they do, it's a giant vanity project, and they're not really actually putting anything productive into the culture, into our world. They're just over there in the corner whining. Whereas the monarchy is actually doing this. And I think they've done the exceptionally right thing by Harry and Meghan by ignoring them. I'm sure it drives William nuts to do so. But I feel like it is the best for the monarchy. It's best for their future. It's best in so many ways to just look at Harry and Meghan and go, okay, you guys are screaming and whining in the corner here. We're going to go over there, and you guys can do all your craziness right here, and that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Just do that over here. Because at the end of the day, when the monarchy ignores Harry and Meghan, it tells the world that they're not even worth giving a response to. They can't even dignify their claims with a response. And I feel like that kills whatever argument Harry and Meghan had. It's this practice of silence, I feel like, has been so powerful. It tells Harry and Meghan that, hey, you always have a place within the family. And Charles said this, and when he accepted the role as king, and it was the day after his mother's death, he said, Harry and Meghan will always have our love, but we are the monarchy. We're not interested in what you guys are peddling, what you guys want to drag us into. And I feel like it has kept the monarchy above the fray in a really smart way. And they need to continue to do it. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Harry and Meghan, they're playing checkers in the park with half the pieces missing. They get 2 in a row and they're like, oh, we've got it. Whereas the monarchy is playing 3D chess. And while they haven't always made the best moves, and I feel like they do need to figure out some way to really crack down on the chaos of Harry and Meghan, and really make the separation between the monarchy and them very definitive, and define it in a way that nobody questions whether or not Harry and Meghan represent the monarchy anymore. Because I feel like that is a question, especially when you look at Harry and he walks into the US Naval Station in Pearl Harbor. He's treated as a dignitary. But he's not. He doesn't represent anything but his own business interests. He no longer represents the UK. And I know some people have said, well, maybe the US sailors didn't know that, and maybe they just didn't know how to treat him, so they just treated him as a dignitary. I was like, they know exactly how to treat him. He should be a tourist like everybody else. Because what he did is he used the tragedy of Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941 to prop up his own business. And that's just absolutely not okay. So just looking at the future of the monarchy, I know we have Harry's memoir coming out, so many other things coming into the future, but I feel like the monarchy really needs to continue to do what they're doing and just let Harry and Meghan scream and rant in the corner, because the more they do that, the saner and the better the monarchy looks. They look engaging. They look like a family. They have these great family interactions between the adults and the children, and these moments are powerful. They say so much more than a response ever could. Now, I know recollections may vary, some recollections may vary. Everybody loves that quote, and it is a great quote. But I wonder too if the monarchy still shouldn't have said anything at all. And if William, even though he said we're very much not a racist family, should have just held his tongue and said nothing at all. Because when you say something to Harry and Meghan, you elevate them. You give them more to work with. Meghan Markle read that statement to Tyler Perry on her reality TV show. They showed the clip of Prince William saying we're very much not a racist family. And I feel like that should be a warning to the monarchy that, hey, anything you do, anything you use will be turned back against you by Harry and Meghan, or they'll try to in some way. I mean, even William's supposed text, which I've heard some people have mentioned may have had several takes, that William sent Harry a text allegedly, and Harry showed it to Meghan, and she had to hug him, and she goes, well, let's go for a walk. And so even those little things, Harry and Meghan need to use anything to make money right now. They are not talented. We haven't seen any evidence yet that they have any talent. And they need the monarchy. Anything the monarchy gives them, they're going to monetize in some way. Whether it's the littlest comment or the littlest reaction, they'll try to monetize it. So the monarchy has to do what they're doing. Silence. Freeze Harry and Meghan out by not even recognizing them as an individual they need to respond to, because they don't. They don't really need to respond to Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan's accusations are often vague. They're half-truths. They're designed to prey on a mostly ignorant American public and those who are generally ignorant in the monarchy around the world. That's what they're preying on, is this ignorance that they're hoping they can convert people into their supporters, because most people don't know that, hey, Harry and Meghan did not follow protocol. They stepped on the toes of other royals by announcing things on the same day. Everybody else had agreed this royal needs to have the spotlight because they're doing something important. But no. Harry and Meghan, they would trounce the rules. They lied to the press multiple times, especially surrounding the birth of Archie. And then they refused to tell the public the names of their children's godparents. And if you're living off the taxpayers, especially as Harry and Meghan were when Archie was born, that's just not appropriate. Your child is being funded by the taxpayers. Your life, your livelihood, your home, everything is being covered by the taxpayers. And there is a quid pro quo balance there, that in order to live this life of extreme privilege, you must give something of yourself in return. And Harry and Meghan, they're selfish people and they're narcissistic people, and they just don't understand that, yes, you can have a hugely popular public image, but you need to give something else of yourself in return. That is what public service is. It's giving of yourself. And that's, I feel like, what we've seen the monarchy do this year. They've given of themselves. They've given their grief to the world, and especially the UK. They've shared their families, their lives, and those sorts of things with their people. And that's what monarchies are supposed to do. And they should look at the UK itself as their family. In addition to their immediate family, obviously, the UK is their family. And I'm sure many would love to welcome Harry, the real Harry, back into the fold, not the chaotic mess that Meghan has made him, back into the fold. And I think one day he'll be dragging his feet as he comes back in, but that could take a while, because I feel like he's been so twisted at this point. He doesn't know when down is up and up is down. And he's changed up his memories, I feel like, to suit the narrative that Meghan Markle wants to push. So you can't even trust his recollections of events. And so I feel like the monarchy, they need to stay above Harry and Meghan. The recollections may vary. It was a succinct and powerful response. But at this point, silence is the key. Silence is the power, because that doesn't give Harry and Meghan anything to work with. And I feel like their image as a family, that is what will save them in the end. Whereas Harry and Meghan look increasingly like the outsiders desperate to gain the attention and the power that the monarchy has. And they'll never achieve it. Because you know what? People want the majesty, the regalness, the mystique of the monarchy. They don't want these cheap, tawdry Hollywood wannabes who are so desperate for attention that they'll betray their entire family to get just their 15 minutes of fame. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of the monarchy's strategy of silence. Do you think they're playing 3D chess, or do you think they need to up the ante against Harry and Meghan? Let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you guys again really, really soon. Bye.